Okay, let's have some fun today, shall we? Black woman destroys white privilege myth. This video is about 8.5 minutes long, but for some reason I feel like I can destroy it within the first 10 seconds. Let's test that hypothesis.
Sometimes I don't even wanna wake up. I don't even wanna wake up.
So I've been thinking a lot about white privilege, and as Black people, do we need to believe in something called white privilege?
You don't really have to believe in something for it to be true or not. I mean, it's kind of been statistically proven and historically, but okay.
Now, what does it say for us as Black people when we believe in this concept of white privilege? So white privilege is the concept that no matter what, if you're white, you're doing better than any Black person ever.
So the first 30 seconds and I already know that this video is just going to be filled with a bunch of straw mans about the definition of white privilege. It's like people just hear these terms and just make up their own shit about it so that they don't have to really believe it. First of all, intersectionality in social justice circles means that there's a number of different privileges that might increase your odds of success in life. But being white won't stop you for not getting a job because you're disabled. You can still experience ableism and be white and still get beat up for being gay and called a fag by a bunch of Black people that are straight. That's called experiencing homophobia. White privilege was never defined by social justice circles to be this kind of God card that makes you absolutely successful and the sole source of all of your success. But let's just continue. We have a whole fucking 8 minutes left of this shit.
Because your skin is white. Doesn't matter if you're homeless. Doesn't matter if you're in prison. Doesn't matter, you're doing way better than every Black person because your skin is white.
It's just like, holy crap, how can I even go on with this shit? When we say someone has a white privilege, we're not saying that you're automatically guaranteed an amazing fucking life. It means that you won't systemically be discriminated against based on your race because you are on the higher side of the power dynamic when it comes to race. You can still be fucked up by class. You can still be homeless and white. But the point is, you take a homeless white person and a homeless Black person and both of them sign up for housing, the Black person is more likely to be discriminated against for the color of his skin. That's been proven time and time again throughout history. I hate all of these stupid hypotheticals anti-SJWs make, like, oh well, what if I'm white and homeless? Oh well, what if you're white and an immigrant? Oh well, what if you're white and gay? You're still white. You can be discriminated for many different things, but you won't be at a systemic disadvantage based on the fact that you're white. I don't know how the fuck you guys just blow it out of proportion where it's just like, oh well, I'm white, so you think that my life is great? Shut the fuck up and listen. For once.
Social justice warriors will say, oh, you're white, you don't have to worry about the cops harassing you. Well, I don't worry.
That's not true. That's not true. You can still be harassed by the cops because cops protect the ruling class. But the difference between white people and Black people is that, yes, it's been proven statistically that white people do not get stopped as much as Black people, especially in areas of peak capitalism like inner cities like New York City during stop and frisk, how, 80% of them were Black or Latino and over 90% of them were still innocent. I mean, come on, you guys act like we're just fucking making this shit up. Yes, white people have less of a chance per capita of being harassed by cops. You can still be harassed by cops, but sorry, statistics show that it won't happen as often as it happens to us.
I have actually been to jail for tickets. For 9 days, I went to jail for tickets. And I'm not oppressed. There were more white people in there than Black people, to be honest.
There were more white people than Black people in a predominantly white area that you were in. I went to the Sahara Desert and all I saw was sand. I'm starting to think that there's just no such thing as water anymore.
I know that isn't the norm when it comes to prison sentences, that there are a lot of Black people in jail. But I tell you what, a lot of Black people deserve to be in jail because of the crimes they commit in their neighborhoods. Our neighborhoods, how's that? See? I moved out of the Black neighborhood when I was a kid because my single Black mother said, you know what? People are breaking into our place all the time and we're not safe here. So you know what we did? We moved to the first white neighborhood that we could afford. It happened to be a trailer park, and we were the first Black people in this trailer park. But it was safe. We never got robbed when I lived there. And
Probably because they knew that you didn't really have shit. But okay. Even poor white neighborhoods make more money than poor black neighborhoods. So you'll notice that the poorer you get into different cities, the crimes increase. Let's not act like poor white trailer parks aren't filled with thieves and meth heads. I mean, seriously, your anecdotal evidence doesn't just completely obliterate the fact that we observe more crime happening the poorer you go.
In a town called White Settlement, there's a little black kid in Texas, and I do not feel oppressed.
You do not feel oppressed. Okay, good for you. End of the video. Now fuck off and let us fight our battle when we feel oppressed. When we actually don't ignore the fact that there's statistical evidence to show that we're fucking oppressed.
I got to go to college, and my SAT scores are not that high. They weren't really high enough to just grant me admission. But I had to get a little interview, and they probably saw, oh, black female, let her in.
I will admit that yes, many colleges have to reach a certain quota of minorities for their colleges so that they don't get targeted for discrimination. It makes them look more diverse. But honestly, your degree means shit all when it comes to actually being hired, and people are still being turned down for jobs just for wearing their cultural hairstyle. And this is like legalized shit, like governmental shit. This isn't even just social stigma anymore.
Probably some white kid with more qualifications than me, better SAT scores, who didn't get in because I did. I have privilege.
Holy fuck. You know, there's probably a kid that didn't get in that had better grades than me, but because I'm black, I got in. That's a huge stretch. I mean, is there like any proof of shit like this even fucking happening? Because there's proof that white people get more scholarships than black people ever do. So, I don't know. Sounds like you're just making shit up as you go, but okay.
I went to Ghana recently. There were black people in the first class section.
You know, black people can have money too. I guess we're not oppressed. There were black people in first class to Ghana. There is so much wrong with this that I don't even know what the fuck to tackle with this. I mean, God forbid people save up enough money to ride first class to their home country. Then all of a sudden systematic racism is just completely obliterated. Completely erases all the fucking stats in the books that show disproportionate mistreatment of black people in America. I mean, black people spend a lot of fucking money. Oftentimes money they don't even fucking have. It's really not that hard to get a first class ticket. It's really not that hard to get credit and get a fucking first class ticket. It's not hard to have a part-time job even and save up enough money to go on a nice vacation. There are so many different reasons as to why someone might be in coach or first class. It's a pretty stupid way to try to measure whether or not someone is systemically privileged or oppressed. You say that black people are privileged based on you personally getting into college, based on what you saw on a flight to Ghana. Like, honestly, it sounds no better than these egotistical white people that, like, use their own personal experiences as if they completely obliterate statistical evidence and shit. Yes, anecdotes and your story is very important. Your story as a black woman is very important. But it's like, you see white people sharing this video, and it's just like, yeah, although hundreds of fucking black people have told me that they're oppressed and they're marginalized, this one black woman says it and she gets it. There's so many people fucking tokenizing this video right now. It's ridiculous.
If you are getting bent out of shape by me saying there's no such thing as white privilege, then you're a black person that loves your victim status and you got a big fat chip on your shoulder that Mr. Steinberg put there through the media that you bought into.
First of all, I don't even know who the fuck Mr. Steinberg is. It's funny that she projects this whole you have a chip on your shoulder nonsense when it's often these alternative black folks like this that try to fucking put this chip on like, well, I moved out of a fucking black neighborhood and I moved on to better things. And people always say like the race card or the victim card or embracing victimhood as if this shit makes us feel like empowered to be a victim. People always sound fucking ridiculous when they say, oh, you just want to be a victim. Who the fuck wants to be a victim? It's like one of the most gaslighting, manipulative things to tell someone while they're being abused. See, now you just want to be abused now. You just want to be a victim now.
Or you're a white person who has some sort of social justice-y kind of white guilt and yet superiority thing going on, that you feel that you are superior and that you do have privilege, and you kind of, you know, want to keep that, and you don't want somebody like me saying, wait a minute, no, you're not privileged.
What the fuck are you even saying? Like, it doesn't even sound like she even is convinced of what the fuck she's even saying. You don't want me telling you you have privilege. Listen, someone acknowledging that they have privilege is not them having a superiority complex whatsoever. Example, I'm a male. I don't really have to deal with walking down the street being fucking harassed by 5 dudes on the same block every fucking day talking about, "Ma, you got a fat ass. Ma, let me get your number." That's not something that I experience as a male. Meanwhile, I see the same women every fucking day having to walk down and be constantly harassed by men. I acknowledge that I'm privileged in the fact that I don't experience that. I don't have to feel that kind of fucking anxiety every single day. Does that mean I'm superior? No, it does not. It's not being patronizing. It's just literally what the fuck happens.
Go to work every single day and you work a 40-hour work week or more, you're not privileged.
What the fuck? If you work, then you're not privileged. Class reductionism much? We're all working class. We're all in this together. There's some motherfuckers that wish they had a job, but because they're trans, it's actually legal to discriminate and deny someone a job based on the fact that they're trans in many different states in America. But because they had fucking dreads, they couldn't get that job. So hey, maybe you're more privileged than you think for even being able to land a job in the first place. I mean, millennials in New York City almost fucking fight over the crumbs and fight over getting a 30-hour work week because places like fucking Chipotle, because all these fucking service industry jobs won't even give you more than 20 hours because they don't want to give you benefits. And we've had to create other means of income like doing this fucking shit.
You got a car payment, you're not privileged.
If you remotely deal with any kind of stress or responsibility in life, you're not privileged. Is basically what the fuck she's boiling this shit down to.
Apply for your job, you're not privileged. The real privileged people in our society are probably more like the movie makers, the politicians, etc., etc. And all of those.
You know you can be a poor politician, right? I'm a movie maker. Still live in the hood, still eat ramen noodles. But you know what? I make money doing stuff that I actually like doing. I mean, it's not enough to have steak dinners every week, but hey, I guess I'm still privileged, right? Oh, you're talking about those rich movie makers. Right.
People happen to be Jewish. So, if we were to really break...
Let me run that back real quick. What did she just say?
etc. And all of those people happen to be Jewish.
Red pill increases.
All those people happen to be Jewish. Not even the majority of those people happen to be Jewish. You're watching too many fucking YouTube NWO videos.
You know, black people probably actually, due to affirmative action, have more privilege than white people.
But that was also factually proven that affirmative action actually benefits white women more than any other group. So when people just get that one fact wrong, it doesn't make me completely ignore their entire argument, but it definitely tells me that they couldn't even look up something that was very fucking simple. Something that was debunked so long ago. I don't know how the fuck they're gonna get the more nuanced and more complex questions right. So, it's like I'm wasting my fucking time here. But I'm pretty sure this is really entertaining to you guys, so let's just keep going.
I had a friend whose husband, they're both white.
White people are oppressed. Black people are more privileged. You know why? Because I had this friend and his friend's cousin actually had a terrible fucking life. And he didn't get that one job last time, and that business was owned by a black person. Pretty sure that's oppression, dude. Pretty sure that guy's more oppressed than you, man.
Fell in some hard times before they got together, and he went to get some food stamps. They told his ass to go get a job.
Wow.
He didn't get any food stamps.
Wow, but statistically, white people get more welfare than any other group of people. So it looks like that anecdotal evidence, once again, falls flat. These people just fucking say shit, and then right-wingers are just like, this black person gets it. When it comes to black people telling our grievances and having to prove that we're oppressed by giving you stats and facts and fucking all of these different citations in MLA format, but then a black person comes along and says, hey, I had a friend that had a friend that had a sister that had a cousin that had a baby that was white, and they got denied food stamps. And they just believe it. You know, no evidence needed. It's just like, well, they said it happened, so it kind of confirms my, like, preconceived biases, so must be true.
But if I were to make like 5, 6 babies, I'd get a house, I'd get food stamps, I'd get some cash. So that's privilege.
Yeah, probably because you just had like 5 babies and you would be a single mom. If you're a single mom and you have a shit ton of babies, then you're more likely to get food stamps. That's kind of the way this shit works. More mouths to feed, more food stamps. It's hard for a lot of people to get food stamps, especially millennials, especially teenagers. There's a teenage homelessness crisis in New York City, and a lot of fucking teenagers can't get a lot of these benefits because they assume, hey, well, you're able-bodied, you should be able to go and work to feed yourself, even though you've probably applied to about 30 jobs this month. I mean, if we're really gonna go back and forth with this fucking oppression Olympic shit as to like whose life is worse, I have a family of 3, and my mom went to apply for food stamps because my dad is disabled. He cannot work because he's going fucking blind, so now he can't be a tailor anymore. Even if I had a job and racked up all my pennies that YouTube gives me, wouldn't have enough to afford New York City rent and the outrageous prices in the food desert of Harlem. So we went to the food stamp office one time, and these motherfuckers gave us $5. Yep. And we had to reapply, and we waited 7 months, and now they give us about $60 a month for food stamps for a family of 3. I don't know where people just make up this fantasy that, hey, you're black, you can just go and apply to food stamps and you'll just be fucking balling out and fucking Twinkies and shit, and you can buy all the fucking ring dings and honey buns in the world. I mean, come on, $50 is literally like 2 or 3 days worth of meals in New York City. Get real.
The real people that are oppressed in our society are probably white men.
White men. Yo, this has to be satire. This has to be satire. This is like, wow. This is basically like red pill. I'm just going to convince myself that red pill philosophy and all of their followers are just like ironically following it. The whole cis white males are just like completely oppressed, and they're so persecuted by our society. Those FEMA camps are just waiting for them. We've been hearing about them since like 2006 and all those NWO videos, and you know, it's coming. It's coming right after the rapture of Jesus Christ when he comes and gets his church.
Oppress people because there's this campaign against white men that is
right.
really quite contrived, and it's really transparent. If you have any kind of IQ, you can see through.
World's smallest violin, playing not for the cis white males, but for the fact that you even use the IQ test, a very outdated source of qualifying intelligence.
Rubbish, and that's why the anti-social justice movement has so many fans.
Right.
I, for one, am also a fan because I don't want people policing language. I don't want people pulling out my race card and throwing it on the table whenever they see fit.
Right.
That don't really like black people.
Right.
The social justice warriors, I find, are the most racist of all.
Right. Social justice warriors are just the most racist. You know, these men that believe in the facts of, you know, blacks having the lowest IQ on average, and that blacks deserve to be massively incarcerated for poverty-based crimes like selling loosies and doing drugs on their own time, despite the fact that white people do more drugs statistically. These are the ones that are truly not racist. You know, it is the left, the ones that actually, for the liberation of black people, those are the ones that are the true racists.
Whenever I say white privilege is a myth, they're the ones that get angry, and they say they feel sorry for me. Why do you feel sorry for me? Because I don't feel like a victim. You know, I'm sitting here.
I don't think they feel sorry for you because you're black. I think they feel sorry for you because you're dumb.
From my own experience, black woman in Texas, been to Europe, I've traveled, okay? Been to Africa. I know what it's like in other places.
Right.
And I still don't feel oppressed here in Texas. You know what? If someone doesn't like me, the fuck do I care?
Right.
I have so many friends. I have family. I have people that do like me.
I truly wonder how all your friends look. I'd love to see that.
Care if someone in their heart hates black people. They probably have a valid reason.
Yo, cooning for cash, kid. Oh, my nigga. I don't even like to use the word coon that often because I feel like it dismisses the opinions of a lot of black people that might be ANCAP or for whatever reason are conservative. And I feel like a lot of their opinions are valid based on their own personal experiences as black people. But this woman is just absolutely delusional at this fucking point. You cannot tell me that sitting here and saying, well, if someone hates me based on the color of my skin, they probably have a valid reason. That's not self-hate? Come on. Come on now. Because I can almost guarantee you that she's the same one to say that a black person is racist and that we have no reason to hate white people if we said fuck all white people 2017.
If I don't like a certain group of people, I have my own history with that group of people that I refer to, and I say, you know what, whenever I'm around them, it's a bad smell, or there's a, you know, bunch of fucking fighting or something like that, and I don't want to be around those people.
But God forbid we actually criticize white people throughout history. Then we're social justice warriors, right?
It's my choice. And you say, hey, it's wrong to raise people, you know, but if you're a racist, you shouldn't raise children. I don't think you should feed your children McDonald's. I think if you take your children to McDonald's, you should have your children taken from you.
Whoa! Oh God, what classist garbage, son. It's like, this just completely feeds into the whole, like, ACS and fucking orphanage nonsense, where rich people feel more entitled to take care of poor people's kids because they have more accessibility to things because of their money. I'm not saying that poor people can't just cook at home, but it's just there's a reason why most people that buy McDonald's are poor, because it's one of the most affordable foods to get, and it's easy and it's fast. There's a reason why poverty and conditions like diabetes and high cholesterol go hand in hand. But yeah, raising your kids to be fucking KKK members is completely equivalent to feeding your kid in McDonald's. Nice.
That's my opinion.
Your opinion has like no basis in objectivity. Stop trying to make your opinion seem like it's valid alongside with opinions that actually do have some kind of basis in fucking reality.
I don't want you to hang out with this group, you know, and they want to raise their kids that way. That's none of our goddamn business.
Yeah, it is my goddamn business when little fucking Billy that was taught to hate black people runs into a fucking church and kills 9 people just because they were black, and writes a whole fucking manifesto as to why it was justified to kill black people. Oh, but you believe in all that fucking NWO nonsense, so you probably think that shit was a false flag or something.
If you don't like, you know, a certain group of people, if you choose to be racist, great. Great. I don't care. As long as people are nice and get me the things I want when I'm out and about and they're serving me, or, you know, I don't care. I don't care if someone secretly doesn't like me. And I would encourage everyone else to just kind of grow up. And if someone doesn't like you, get the fuck over it and find yourself some friends. And if you can't find friends, look to yourself and become more pleasant.
Oh God. This whole individualized nonsense when it comes to like race and just like respectability politics of, hey, well, just be a good person, just respect everyone, and everyone just needs to respect each other, and, you know, as long as you don't hit each other, and all this fucking nonsense, as if a politician that is racist won't fucking pass legislation against your fucking people to make your life a living hell. Like, you can't just fucking ignore racism. It's something that actively needs to be fought against. And if you don't want to be down with the social justice movement and you honestly just don't give a fuck, then stay out of our fucking way then. Anti-SJWs rant more about our reaction to oppression than the actual fucking oppression itself. These types of people probably don't even make shit about police brutality and constantly victim blame, but when we want to go and riot and fuck shit up, then you want to come and say, oh, you guys need to protest the right way. Motherfucker, you ain't even protesting with us in the first place. How about you show us how? You don't give a fuck about none of these issues. You just on the fucking bandwagon and of being a fucking contrarian. These guys are just a bunch of fucking nihilists that don't give a fuck about anything until it's time to complain about our complaining. Ironic, isn't it? You know, I'm tired of all of you bitching about white privilege, so I'm just gonna make an 8-minute long video about how your bitching is really annoying. Can you guys please stop complaining? Here's a 15-minute video on why you should stop complaining about real issues. Here's a 15-minute compilation of an SJW cringe fest. Can't wait to go to that Ben Shapiro rally and hear his 30-minute conference about how none of us are oppressed. You motherfuckers just need to deep throat a circle saw and reincarnate as a fucking mosquito. Literally serve no fucking purpose in society but being fucking blood-sucking, capitalist apologist leeches, making YouTube videos that boom in views because they're piggybacking and leeching off of the fucking buzz that the social justice movement has created for themselves. Eastside, Harlem reppin'.